Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you on this daily Hindu last video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening the MCQ lessons they come. So kindly you follow these lessons. Do not miss the evening lesson. That is a part of this lesson only, because we discuss the facts there and additional data from PIB, EPW and other important sources we take, and those are extremely crucial details for the prelim stage. And the editorials that we are discussing in this lesson and the facts that we are taking here around these issues, the facts of the prelims, they will revolve around. So these two lessons, take them as a package, and on a daily basis this crucial information is reaching up to you. So let's start the lesson. 28th of September it is. 2 days are left in this month, and Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that. Regarding these courses, the description is given below the video and you can call on these numbers, and the chat section is available here on this website's address. PDF you will get here on this Facebook group, and you will also find the Telegram channel's link there. On Instagram you can follow me, and these are the words that I found today. These are extremely important words which were given today, so keep using them in sentences. Now the first article important for GS paper 2, the OIC group. Yesterday we discussed this issue, the 57 members group, Organization of Islamic Countries. This issue, this group was established on religious grounds, first of its kind and only of its kind, the religious grouping there. And the headquarters is there in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. The maximum influence on this group is there by Saudi Arabia. It is the top financier there, and whatever it decides, it is the opinion of the OIC grouping. And that is why when they commented on the Kashmir issue and openly supported Pakistan's opinion there, and they showed a kind of a concern for Kashmiri Muslims there, and they said that whatever decision the Indian government has taken regarding the 370 issue and the land rights issue there, those things must be changed again. So first of all, the credibility of the OIC group, it not very high, and it has made conflicting resolutions, conflicting statements in the past. So the history and the status is very poor there. Although it is a group of 57 member countries, but the stake in the world geopolitics is very less. And on the religious lines it was created. As I told you, they are a religious group, but when they talk about the geopolitical interests, then it looks silly there. So that's why they need reforms from within, and they could start this issue by asking Pakistan to change its state policy on terrorism. But the issue is that, as I told you, in the Muslim world, Pakistan is considered to be a iron sword there because it's a nuclear power. So all see a kind of a security there, and Pakistan's army is way more stronger than any other Muslim country. So that is also a reason that they embrace Pakistan there. And if you talk about Saudi Arabia, then a lot of things are changing in Saudi Arabia in last 2-3 years. Since Mr. Mohammed bin Salman came, the Crown Prince came, since the start, he made big decisions there, and unprecedented decisions he took. He jailed all the businessmen and all, and liberal politics, liberal ways he's adopting in Saudi Arabia. And they are looking beyond the oil politics there, because a lot of disturbance is going on in the Middle East, and the campaigns of renewable energy users, gases users, shale gas revolution is going on. So here the oil economics and oil politics is also diminishing day by day. So that's why they are looking beyond. Today it's an announcement by Saudi Arabia that they have started giving tourist visas for the first time. So these kind of things are unprecedented in Saudi Arabia. So that's why it is way more concerned, way more insecure than ever, and it always takes help from America, the most powerful country till date, and that uses Arabia in a way against Iran. That is also apparent. But Saudi Arabia is ready for all these things, and it wants to keep its influence there in the Middle East region. But it is all with the help of America there. The Yemen war it is fighting, and the weapons and all, these were imported from America only, and that is why Saudi Arabia became the biggest importer in this world for weapons. So the politics is very complex, and the issue of Arabia is very unique there. But here in this OIC group, it holds a lot of significance and influence. So its stand regarding Pakistan is the basis of that comment on Kashmir issue. recently when the prince came on visit to India, after that he went to Pakistan, and way more embracing happened there for Imran Khan, and way more cordial relations they showed in comparison to India there. So it was very much apparent that they embraced Pakistan way more than ever before, and the relations are of mutual benefit, and it is helping Pakistan also financially. So that is why, although they gave a order of Zayed Award to Prime Minister Modi, but these things are way more formal and ceremonial. Actual practical support they are giving to Pakistan, and that is the kind of a mistake by OIC group and Saudi Arabia there. And they did not say anything about Pakistan's state sponsorship of terrorism and all these issues. Why? Because this is something they actually need. These terror groups, their power, these countries, they need them so that they can have some stake there, and somebody would listen to their arguments. Otherwise, nobody's gonna listen to Pakistan today if Taliban would not have been in this stage, because Taliban has become way more stronger. That's why America is talking to Pakistan today. So these are the reasons that these countries, they sponsor these terrorist groups, and they openly accept sometimes about those things. Like on the OIC platform, Pakistan has considered some of the things, but there is one more fact, that India is not a part of OIC, but India has bigger population of Muslims than Pakistan. So outside OIC, we are the country where the maximum number of Muslims are living, and these are the citizens here. So you may say India has a special significance for the Muslim world, because more than Pakistan there are Muslims in India. So we need not to worry about those things, and bigger thing that we need to worry about is the Kashmir situation, and we have to settle all these issues. The allegations are mounting and the restrictions are continuing even after 53rd day, and we are not able to bring a proper solution to that problem, and many human rights issues are occurring day by day. So that's why we need to be concerned more about that situation, and we must act in the larger interest of all the Kashmiris, not to a particular community or the group, all Kashmiris there. So that's the situation here, and important for GS paper 2. Next article is informative but not much important for us. It is regarding the Sri Lanka's politics. 16th of November there are going to be presidential elections. You see, executive presidential system is there in Sri Lanka, like America, and the president has a lot of power there. Now a unique situation is coming here, because the elections for the president, they are different, and elections for other leaders, they are way more different. It has a very troubled history. Buddhist populations are there in Sri Lanka, but it has been a very fierce country, and the civil war like conditions were there since till 2008, and it has seen a lot. The issue of Tamils in the northern part, that is always troubling its history there, and they could not get a proper solution till date. And the Sinhalese, who have been fierce. So the majority of the leaders and the influence on the politics, that is coming from the southern part of the Sri Lanka. So now for the presidential election, Sajid Premdasa, whose father was a president in 90s, and now he has passed away, and Sajid Premdasa is the next candidate for UNP, United Nations Party. From the same party, present Prime Minister of Sri Lanka, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, is on the post, but they have not chosen Ranil Wickremesinghe for the leadership of the party. They have chosen Sajid Premdasa there. So he is the new highlight and new option there. And who is standing in front of Sajid Premdasa? He is a strong man, Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He is the brother of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Mahinda Rajapaksa, former president of Sri Lanka. He has served 2 terms. So that's why he cannot go again there for the candidacy, because he has completed his 2 terms like the American president. So he is not eligible now. So he has called Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and Gotabaya Rajapaksa was there during the Lite crisis there, and he commanded all these defense forces and all, and he created this strongman image there, and all kinds of qualities are there in Gotabaya Rajapaksa for becoming a leader, the type of that leader which who are famous a lot in this world today, like the leaders who talk about security issues a lot, who talk about emotions a lot, who talk about nationalism a lot, who talks about a lot of huge announcements and the fear they want to create and the aggressive politics they play. So those kind of qualities are there in Gotabaya Rajapaksa, and that's why the strongman image is there. So he is a strong candidate there and brother of Mahinda Rajapaksa. Gotabaya left Sri Lanka after the Lite crisis and he went to America and he got that citizenship there. Now again he is called, and because Mahinda Rajapaksa cannot run for the elections, now he is putting his brother there. So this is going to be a very interesting phenomena. And you see the security situations we have seen in the recent past in Sri Lanka there, when the bombings happened in that the church and all, and after that a lot of issues are coming. The kind of social unrest is there in Sri Lankan politics, and the issues of fake information and the social media, these similar things are going on in Sri Lanka's affairs. Now in this time, in these troubled times, and where emotions are high, the nationalistic fervor is rising, where Gotabaya has bigger stake there. So we have to see, but the issue is very much complex. Premadasa comes from the same region of South Sri Lanka. Gotabaya also comes from South, and the issue of Mr. Rajapaksa is also unique, because Rajapaksa, he backed Maithripala Sirisena, who is the current president. But today Sirisena's party has become very weak. It was very strong in the past, the SLFP party, Sri Lanka Freedom Party, but it is not in much power today. And in the end, the influence is gonna vanish very soon, or it is diminishing day by day, you may say that. So last year some problems were there, like President Sirisena ousted Mr. Vikram Singhe, who was the Prime Minister there, but the court reinstated him. So it was a kind of a backlash for President Sirisena, who is a supporter of Rajapaksa there. So President Sirisena would be in favor of Rajapaksa, and here Vikram Singhe is replaced by Mr. Premadasa in his party. So very unique kind of condition is there. So this is all that we need to know. What happens later in November, we have to see. But all these unfoldings of the situations are unique, and mainly the southern part of India, the Tamilian part of India, and the northern Tamilian part of Sri Lanka. There the significance is a lot for Sri Lankan politics, and the way Indian official stand will be there regarding any party, we will have to see, because always a particular party is ruling in a democracy, and they will have more inclination towards a particular party in some other country. Like we have shown a lot of support for Republicans in America today, so that will have its political significance later. Suppose if a Republican party does not win, what kind of problems we may face in the future, that is to be seen. But if Republican party wins, then it is going to be a very good phase for Indians. The same applied in the Maldives condition, same applied in the Nepalian politics condition. So these all issues are always important, and that's why these are our neighbors, and we need to be concerned about their political situations also. Next, the important article today, Surit Parasarthi is the advocate in Madras High Court, and a very important issue he is citing here, Kashmir issue, again a central topic, but a lot of other examples are there, and the center point here is not about the Kashmir situation. Actually, it is the commenting on the Supreme Court's working that we need to discuss here. First of all, we need to go into the history. Here the writer is saying that if we start from the dark days of the Indira Gandhi's time, then it was the emergency time. At that time, a phenomena became important, the committed judiciary. Committed judiciary means what the government thinks, what its opinion. Supreme Court must give its decisions, verdicts according to that. And that was the ultimate demand practically. Means maybe officially the stand would be different, but practically they demanded this thing. And some problematic issues we saw. ADM Jabalpur Shivkant Shukla case happened, and there problematic verdict was given, and that is quoted again and again in the upcoming future, when they said that out of some emergency situation, out of some security issue, out of some legal detention issue, the rights, fundamental rights could be validly negated, and that thing happened in emergency. But later some other decisions also came that defied the committed judiciary aspect. So both kind of things were there, but this decision in the ADM Jabalpur case, that was really problematic, and this was the starting of some problematic issues by Supreme Court. Today why we are discussing that, because Supreme Court has always upheld and it has been the ultimate protector of the weakest in our society. But for some time now there are decisions which are really going against the precedents set by Supreme Court itself, and they do not look like that they are protecting any democratic values or the weak person. They are more in favor of the government's wishes. These are some problematic things. If we leave one decision aside, that is the right to privacy issue in 2017 in the PS Puttaswamy case. That was a brave and bold decision, and that was something not against the government's wish. That was actually protecting the people's privacy rights. So that was great. But other important decisions are not going very well, like in the case of NRC, like in the case of this forest dwellers issue, where they have cancelled half of the claims, and they have said in a stern voice that they must vacate the place. These things are really problematic. Many concerns have been raised regarding those issues. So that's why these examples are important. Here the writer said that since 1950 these kind of acts came, like the preventive detention came, and it is still going on, the very controversial issue, and it is nowhere available in any other country, but it is there in India, and it was started by Britishers, and we continued with that. Here this is the most inhumane thing, that without a trial you can put somebody behind the bar. Nobody will know about that, no explanations will be given, and you can keep a person there behind the bars. And you see practically what happens in India. If somebody is behind the bars, then anything can be possible. People even have died, and they have been tortured like hell. And the bigger problem is that some innocent people were tortured like that. This is the country of political vendettas. This is the country of nexuses between the politicians and criminals, and sometimes police also. So these kind of provisions are really dangerous, where even out of some mistake or out of some intentional problem, any innocent person can also be put behind the bars. And these were the examples sometimes in the past, and that's why we cannot ignore these aspects. Armed Force UPSPA Act, the most controversial till date. The most of the human rights questions are surrounding around this UPSPA issue. In Kashmir, in the northeast, this issue is going on. The MISA Act, which came in 1971, and dire consequences were there during the emergency period. TADA Act came in 1985, and the POTA came in 2002. All are related to security issues. Like MISA was the internal security issue, and POTA and TADA, they were related to the terrorism aspects and all. So these things are really sensitive, and security based issues are there. So here, this is the phase when we deal with these kind of issues. Ultimately we are putting our trust on the government's working. But you see, when we put all our trust on government's working and their discretion regarding these issues, then some aspects we cannot ignore, because problems have been there in the past, and we have seen many examples of wrongdoings. That's why the opinion of the apex court cannot be in total compliance of the government. That is the ultimate thing. Maybe the public is there with the government, but the apex courts working will be always idealistic, and they will always try to maintain the democratic values, whether it's a security issue. But you see, in the legal system, it is always said that you cannot punish a single innocent person. Maybe you have to release 100 criminals there, because you are not allowed to give punishment to any innocent person without any offense, without any problem. You cannot torture any person. So that's the issue of legal system. But here in the security situations, there is a blanket that is put on some issues and which are highly controversial. And here in Kashmir, it is the problem of lakhs of people. Means all are not criminals, all are not terrorist supporters and all, and many common people are living there, and they are locked down for more than 53 days now. So although it's a security situation, people are with government, but you see, you know the problem only when you are going through it. When these problems are going on with you, it is very easy to justify some other person's situation, because we just need to move our tongue, nothing else. But the people are going through that restrictive phase, the torturous phase there, and this is all in the name of security situation, and these are complex issues. So although we would always support, and we should support the discretionary issues of government there, that how they take these situations, how they handle them, how they decide about them, we should support them. But the apex court's opinion cannot ignore that angle, that there can be a wrong decision also, there can be some mismanagement also, there can be a slight chance of very dire consequences also. So that's why you cannot wipe out all other angles than the government's angle. That is the situation, and here comes the ultimate responsibility of the apex court. And here, the way they have showed the dogged refusal to listen to all these issues, and the freedom is taken as a dispensable merit here. Means freedom is indispensable issue for the humans, but here it is taken as dispensable merit, and for a special case of issue, that is the security situation. So that is why security matters are involved, but yet for some reason you cannot go in 100% way in judicial system according to the government's ways. You have to support that, and nowhere you go against that. You do not go against that, but the chances must be invited for some peaceful debate, and you cannot say totally in a blind manner that that all the leaders and all the people who are representing Kashmir and all, they are all looters and they are all thieves. Maybe they are looters, maybe they are thieves, but in democracy the chances are always given to even the criminals, and you have to listen to the other party also. Here the other party is totally silent. You have put a blanket ban on their expression, and that creates a lot of pressure. You just suppose for 53 days if you are locked down and your civil liberties are taken away, and maybe there are security issues, but this issue of freedom becomes the most crucial thing for human survival. We all know how we fought Indian independence movement, and that was all based on that trouble that we are slaves. The Britishers are ruling us, and the way they want, they deal with us, they exploit us, they become benevolent rulers sometimes, and they are exploiting now, and they are giving a lot of pains. This is all because they were ruled by someone else. Means those people were not free. Freedom is the ultimate thing, and all the leaders who fought for their life in that struggle, they all talked about the freedom issue. Azadi, Swatantrata mera janam siddh adhikar hai. Tilak said this. Why this ultimate statement was popular? Because it was Swatantrata, freedom. And here, when issues are controversial and there are questions on the decision making and the human rights and concern, here the lockdown is continuing for more than 50 days, and that is why at least you cannot wipe out that angle, that the expression should be there from the other party also, because whatever you are showing, that is all from that media section, that is totally committed, that is just rolling down on the floor and glorifying the government's every move. That's the situation, and that is why there are serious concerns that this is not the ideal way to present things. Means the decision making is okay. We should not oppose the government there, and we should not say that they have decided in a very wrong way. That is wrong. But we should support a proper way of debate there and proper way of expression there, where 100% blanket ban should not be there on the expression. And when they are continuing this for around 2 months now, that's really problematic. Every day the concerns are rising, and those allegations which were there in the starting, and the kind of problems which we are observing now, the kind of article which came yesterday in the Hindu newspaper regarding the kids issue, the psychological issue in Kashmir, in that fearful environment, those concerns are really becoming true day by day. And that's the situation there. And the condonation of the continuing wrongs inflicted in JNK, including the judges, when they are totally complying with the government and they are not listening to any kind of argument there. And in the media trials, we have seen how they hound all those leaders who are coming from Kashmir, and they all go back to their places red-faced and in a total frustrated way. So nobody, means one thing is common, that all people from Kashmir, they are extremely frustrated after this issue. Now if that issue has become like this, that everyone is having a similar kind of frustration and anger towards the Indian state, then this cannot bring a positive phase there. That's really dangerous. And maybe it's a reason that they are not able to observe the situation properly, and they are not able to decide about the situation, and that's why the curbs are continuing. But the frustration is rising according to some reports there, because the ground report is not there. So here the apex court's decision can be very vital. If they invite that expression, if they allow that relaxation in a way that somehow the real expression comes out, then it can be a raise of pressure. Otherwise the pressure is mounting, and there can be a blasting situation when they are going to relax the restrictions there. So that is why the writer is citing some issues here, like throughout history the court has consistently seen individual liberty as an expendable value. Corpus of judgment is replete with cases where it has allowed the bogey of security to trump freedom. Means freedom has been trumped many times. And I told you that these all preventive detention, UPSPA, all these came, and every time some controversial issues we saw, and the phenomena of committed judiciary, somehow that was reflected in some decisions. If we start from 1950, the first time when it all came, and A.K. Gopalan was detained under the preventive detention, and the Article 22 was cited there. But the advocate for Gopalan, Mr. M.K. Nambiar, who represented Gopalan in the court, he argued, and a very important line he said, that no amount of fine phrasing, means anyhow you represent this issue, and maybe you use the best possible phrases and beautiful lines you write here, and you try to disguise the issue, but you cannot justify the preventive detention in any condition in a civilized mankind, because without listening to the other party's concern, you can never be assured about a particular judgment, because it is democracy and it is no ideal world. Nobody you can say that these are saints. You cannot say that political people are saints, and whatever they say, it is ultimate truth. There are no gods. So that is why in the democracy, in the judicial system, the other party's opinion is always taken. You cannot decide in a unilateral way. That is something the writer is talking about. Here, more damagingly by the court, they said that even the Article 21 and 19(1), they can be trumped, they can be suppressed here if somebody is detained under a penal law. So it was the case with Gopalan issue, and in other cases like the Hardan Saha case regarding the MISA Act, similar issues we saw. So there is a deep disconnect between the glorified image of Supreme Court and these decisions. Means sporadically some decisions have came in the past, and now this phase is going on where some decisions are really problematic. Then we cannot recite those glorifying poems for Supreme Court that it has always upheld democratic values and all. So some things are really controversial, and because it is the last resort, it is the ultimate protector of the weakest in this country. If the apex court will behave in this way in today's age, where media is totally on a devastating path and social media is really destroying all the social fabric and all these problems are there, they can advertise anything, they can manipulate anything, then the court's role is the most important issue today. We need Supreme Court more than ever before. So that is why they have to uphold the basic civil liberties, and they should not oppose the government, but those things should not be suppressed where the other party's opinion is totally under some kind of a ban. So that is the issue, and right to privacy decision was great, really great. And here the last line summarizes everything. Sir Edward Coke in House of Commons said that shall the soldier and the justice sit on one bench? You see, people fight wars, means the countries fight wars, but soldiers, they are the simple servicemen of the motherland, and nobody can be greater than that if we compare them with the people, because they give their lives. Everything is there in our life, and somebody is giving life for the motherland, then these are greatest people. But a country cannot run only with the path of wars and the glorification of wars or the glorification of forces, because war itself is a crime. There should not be any war, because it takes lives of the soldiers. Those are innocent people. So you cannot justify that you are creating a parallel between the war, the soldier and the justice. They cannot sit on a single bench, because justice parameters are different. They are humanitarian grounds. There are killings in the war. Killings in the war, and killing is totally banned in means totally unjustified with the human life. So that is why the trumpet will not let the crier speak. Maybe some innocent is crying, but the trumpet of the war, that will suppress that crisis there. So that's why these are extremely important issues, and I'm going to stop here because some scheduling issues are there. A small piece of article regarding the Nepal situation and the Nepal's politics that we'll discuss tomorrow. And thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was a bit sunny. Give your opinions about the lesson today. Thanks a lot.